Welcome back to Organized Chaos, Stories with Shabana. This is the place where life's beautiful messes transform into wisdom, laughter, and inspiration. In each episode, I'll be sharing real stories, mine and others, about the twists, turns, and unexpected lessons that life brings. Together, let's learn to turn life's messes into messages, struggles into stories, and chaos into clarity. So come join me, friends, while I remind you the true magic is within us all. We hold the power to create a life we not only like, but love. Let's do this. Hey friends, I'm so glad you're here to join me for another episode of Organized Chaos, Stories with Shabana. This episode is a little all over the place, but there is a common thread and I hope you really enjoy it. On a side note, a few episodes ago, I was talking about how we had gotten a new mattress for my son. And the good news is he has a new mattress, a new bed frame, and it's all put together in his room and he's enjoying his new bed. And we got the bunk beds out and now they're downstairs waiting for someone to pick them up, hopefully this week. I'm excited to sell them and get them out the door. Anyway, let's dive into the show. Thanks for being here. Okay, I woke up with this thought this morning and the thought was having the right keys. And out of that, I have created this episode for you. I woke up with the thought this morning and the thought was having the right keys and how keys are so important, whether it is a passcode or a garage code or any other code or key that we need in life. So let's expand on keys today. What makes keys so important? Why have they been essential in history for so many years? Where did the idea of a key even come from? So I did some digging around on the Googles, and these are the different things that I wanted to share with you today about keys. The first key and lock system dates back 4,000 years ago to ancient Egypt using a wooden pin system. Keys were used to secure possessions. The fundamental reason for the invention of locks and keys was to provide a method for people to protect their valuables and control who could enter their homes and access their belongings. Also, keys were used to control access. Early locks and keys offered a way to grant or deny access to specific areas or items. They served as a physical indicator that a space was intended to be private and secure. To safeguard goods. Before the widespread use of locks and keys, people used methods like heavy safes or even sealing valuables in jars and placing them in ponds. But locks provided a more practical and portable way to represent status. In ancient Rome and medieval Europe, carrying a key was also a symbol of wealth and status, as most people had little value to lock up. Keys were often ornate and worn as a piece of jewelry according to key track. So that was interesting. Now let's hear what I have to say about keys. The first thing that comes to mind to me is a skeleton key. Now, I didn't look this up, but my personal thoughts are maybe back in the day, they would lock up thieves and forget about them. And unfortunately, when they would come back to the jail cell and unlock and let the person free after they had done their time, they would be skeletons already, and thus became the name skeleton key. Okay, now I should probably look it up and figure out what the real deal is about skeleton keys. All right, I was completely wrong. And the internet says that the reason why it is called a skeleton key is because it is stripped down to only the necessary parts that make up the key. And sometimes the key is mistaken and looks like a skull, thus being named a skeleton key. There's also a lot more and another huge rabbit hole that if you want to go down on the internet, go for it after you finish listening to my podcast, of course. I think about the first time somebody gave me a key to their apartment because they were one of my first cleaning clients. I remember thinking, wow, I can't believe they trust me with that, and that at the time we had been friends for a very long time, and I knew that I would be responsible with it. And I trusted myself, and I knew that honestly all I wanted to do is get in there, clean, lock it up, and be done and go about my day. Then, as I increased my cleaning clients, more people gave me keys, codes to their houses, and information that you wouldn't give to anyone unless you truly trusted them. I realized that this was a reflection of me and how I have learned to trust myself, who I've become, and what I've created in my life is truly a treasure. I do feel we all have a treasure chest within us all, filled with so much wisdom, value, and knowledge inside. And the crazier part is we are the one who holds the key to our own treasure chest inside. And most of the time we don't even realize that we are the holder of the key because we're searching all outside of ourselves for the answers, when truly we hold the key and the treasure within us. We need to learn to unlock and allow the treasures to overflow in abundance in our lives. I think of the 1989 Disney movie, The Little Mermaid. Yes, I said 1989. I swear that movie came out in like 1993 or 1994. Anyways, back on track. I think about Ariel and all her treasures she collected from abandoned sunken ships, and how she took those treasures to her collection cave. Yet she still wasn't happy with all the material wealth she had. She still desired for something more, something deep within her that was longing to be fulfilled. My question for you and for me: what is it in you? What is longing to be fulfilled? What is it that your soul is desiring? Just like Ariel, maybe you desire to be part of that world, to dream bigger dreams, to walk in places that maybe past generations haven't walked in, to obtain financial abundance and freedom that your heart desires, and not allow your past to hold you back. What is that treasure inside of you that is wanting to burst out like an exploding treasure chest, like in a Mario Brothers game? Like attracts like. Are you attracting an abundant life with abundant thoughts, or are your thoughts dark and negative and you are attracting more anxiety, depression, or fear? I have for sure been on both sides of the track. I believe our thoughts are so powerful, and they shape and form our lives, just how when we listen to upbeat, positive music, it can improve our mood and put a skip in our step. And the opposite is true when we listen to perhaps dark and depressing music, it puts us in a funk. As simple as music can be, that is just another key to truly producing a life we desire and just keeping you in a positive, upbeat mood. For example, today the song that's been repeating in my head, If You Know, You Know, you can sing it with me. Ever since you met me, keys to the Bentley, now they call you the preacher's wife. I'm the type of guy that take you out and buy that rock with the... I can't even sing it right. But the point is, ever since I met you, keys to the Bentley, now they call you the preacher's wife. Anyway, Baby, Let's Get Married. You can look that song up on Spotify. If you know, you know. Then I think of another Disney movie. I think about the movie Aladdin. How Aladdin needed the other half of the beetle brooch piece to connect it together to open up the hidden cave of wonders that was located underneath the desert sand. And he was the only person worthy enough to unlock it and go in and retrieve the magic golden lamp. He was the one, I believe, who had a worthy and noble heart and spirit to do what was right. His heart was pure, and he was able to go down into the cave of wonders and follow and remember the one rule: don't touch anything except the lamp and bring it back. And we know how the story unfolds. His sidekick and best friend Abu the monkey has a heart that wants to touch all the gold, all the possessions, and the famous massive red ruby stone. Abu's eyes get so large, and all he can think about is taking the large ruby stone and all the wealth that it will bring him. So he grabs the ruby stone and instantly realizes what he has done. At that point, the big golden statue that held the ruby stone begins to melt, and the cave of wonder is basically melting and crumbling down all around. Then they might be disappearing under the sand again, never to resurface. Right when everything is being destroyed, Aladdin grabs the lamp and yells for the carpet, and the carpet kind of gets stuck under the rock that had fallen on the carpet. With all the carpet's strength, it breaks free, swoops up, and Aladdin jumps on the carpet, and then they swing by, grab Abu, and literally fly at the speed of light to get out of the cave. before the cave disappears and they potentially would be remembered no more. So it's a very hectic, frantic, chaotic scene, and all you're thinking is, oh my gosh, they have to make it out alive or this movie is over. Talk about anxiety. But you really don't know if they're going to make it out alive. Spoiler alert! The movie continues and they make it out alive, barely. The trickster Jafar, who had given Aladdin the other half of the beetle brooch, said, "Pass me the lamp and I'll pull you up," because Aladdin is holding onto the ledge of the cave, closing up very closely underneath him. Aladdin passes the lamp, and then Jafar grabs it, rips off his wig, and says something along the lines of, "I fooled you," and then the monkey kind of does something, and Jafar pushes Aladdin back into the cave, which, to the viewers, it looks like that's the end of Aladdin and Abu, and the cave is about to finish closing, and Jafar has won by securing the magic lamp, and the cave is officially closed, and the sand lays down and looks like the desert, and that nothing has happened there. The next scene is, I believe, the carpet, Abu, and Aladdin are in the cave and realizing they are trapped and stuck. Aladdin is just beating himself up. He is just like, I can't believe I gave the lamp away. I knew there was something off about him. I don't know why. I didn't see it earlier. And then all of a sudden, Abu, because he's Abu, pulls out the magic lamp, and Aladdin's like, "You had this the whole time?" Aladdin is so happy and relieved that they have the lamp and the bad guy doesn't have the lamp. So here we have Aladdin and Abu and the carpet and the lamp in the middle of the cave, and Aladdin looks at the lamp and is like, why would that old man want the lamp? There's so many treasures down here. This lamp is so dirty and beat up. It looks like there is writing on it. So he starts rubbing the lamp to clean it up, and out pops the genie. And we know how the story continues. He has 3 wishes, and it's a great story. So if you haven't seen the Disney movie of Aladdin, you should go see it. The movie, in my opinion, holds so many symbolization about keys. He needed the other half of the beetle brooch to complete the puzzle or key to allow the Cave of Wonders to open. Jafar needed Aladdin to be in the right spot to be the person to go down into the Cave of Wonders and get the lamp for him, because Aladdin was the key to open up the Cave of Wonders with his pure and kind heart. Also, there's one part in the movie where Princess Jasmine comes to town and Aladdin and her are hanging out, and he brings her back to his place, which is this literally hole in the wall, empty building with a great view. He opens the curtain and you can see the royal palace, and he goes, "One day I'm gonna live there." So much of manifesting is seeing clearly the desires you want and going after them. He could have easily been like, "I'm a street rat, born a street rat, die a street rat. And everybody tells me I'm worthless and I just belong on the streets of India." But he keeps on dreaming, keeps on envisioning, keeps on believing that one day he will live in the palace. And again, spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, he does marry Princess Jasmine. And he does end up living in the palace. And he does it with the kindness of his heart, not because of the 3 wishes, because originally he wanted the genie to make Princess Jasmine fall in love with him. But one of the rules was the genie couldn't grant the wish of making people fall in love. All right, I was not expecting to go so deep into a Disney movie to talk about keys, but there you go. Thank you, brain. You are amazing. So I did ask my family, when you hear the word keys, what do you think of? The responses that I got were keys, piano keys, Jasper keys, garage keys, Mrs. Keys from school. They had no reference or context to what I was asking, so there's that. I've been also thinking keys to success, keys to the kingdom, keys to unlock cars, houses, boats, garages, or sheds. Keys to a man's heart, through his stomach, obviously. Keys to my teenager's heart, shopping and sushi, clearly. As I wrap this up, I literally have been thinking about keys all day long, realizing that the keys to success is not having it all perfectly planned out, having all the details figured out, but just taking action steps, messy, authentic action steps to achieve the goals, getting from point A to point B to point C to point Z. I believe in the ability of ourselves to move the needle forward, to make that hairpin turn for a different outcome. And sometimes the keys look like taking a pause, taking a deep breath, believing in ourselves, and allowing us to just sit in the stillness, letting all our energy settle and relax. Just settle. The feelings you get when you envision yourself on a calm beach, feeling the sun on your skin, listening to the ocean, hearing the seagulls, maybe holding the hand of someone you love, hearing children laughing in the background, the peace that washes over you as you sit there and relax. Many of us are not able to enjoy the beach every day, which reminds me of this story. When I was in Florida earlier in September for a retreat, and one of the lunch servers who was doing the buffet struck up a conversation with me, and I was talking about the beach and how excited I was to go to the beach while I was there. And in response to my excitement, his response was, even though I live 10 minutes away from the beach, I only go to the beach once a year when I'm on vacation for 1 to 2 weeks. And I don't remember where he said he was from, maybe Madagascar or Thailand. But what stuck with me is that some people live so close to what I think is paradise and they don't even enjoy it. But then again, I think maybe if I lived at the beach, I wouldn't go every day, and it would be something more special once a year for a week or two. It's almost like when they say, if you work at McDonald's, you get so sick of the smell that you don't want to eat it. I don't know how much that's true. I know that I worked at Baskin-Robbins for 4 years and I did not get sick of eating the ice cream. It was glorious, so I don't know. I don't think I would get tired of seeing the beach and going to the beach weekly. Other things that I've been trying to do for my keys to success for my health goals is when I do weigh myself, I typically take a deep breath and release that breath, and then I step on the scale, and regardless, I have all these thoughts before and after, good, bad, ugly. But my new thing that I've been trying this past week that's been helping me a lot is to anchor in. Before I step on the scale, I close my eyes for about 5 to 10 seconds, and I think about standing on the beach in Hawaii. I tilt my head down, my eyes are closed, and I pretend to see my feet in the water, in the clear, beautiful water, looking at the tiny mini swordfish things. And I let that peace of standing on the beach ground me and center me. And then I step on the scale, and I open my eyes, step on the scale. And the crazy part is I feel like it's working to achieve my goals, because I'm coming from a place of peace and a place of love and happiness and joy and calmness instead of stress and anxiety. Anyway, maybe you'll try it, maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. Doesn't matter, just something I wanted to share with you. So as I wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with this. What have been key moments in your life that have opened doors in ways you didn't even expect? How can you unlock the treasure that is in you and let it pour out? Remember, you hold the key and you have the power to unlock what is in you. Now go unlock some doors and allow the magic to unfold. You got this. This podcast is sponsored by Happy Mail. I created Happy Mail for when you don't have the words, Happy Mail does. Happy Mail sends handwritten cards of encouragement that uplift, comfort, and reminds everyone they matter. Happy Mail is better than a McDonald's Happy Meal, spreading kindness, not calories. Click the link in the show notes and get your Happy Mail sent ASAP. Limited to U.S. residents only. Hey you, yes you. Thank you so much for listening to Organized Chaos, Stories with Shabana. If you love this episode as much as I did, hit that subscribe button, leave an outstanding review, and share it with a friend who needs some inspiration. Thank you for being part of this community. Remember, in every bit of chaos, there is always a story waiting to emerge. Who knows, maybe sharing your story might inspire others to share theirs. The possibilities are endless. Let's live in the possibilities.